Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Missing Gear. Holy Harvick.
Dylan,
My God.
doubleheader win. Unbelievable. I believe they
Swept
said
it.
last time that has happened, Richard Petty did it in like 1971, I believe.
Yep. And,
back-to-back wins 2 days in a row for Cup races. Unbelievable.
Yep. Cendric did it earlier in the year, but obviously Cup, the competition is so much better.
Oh, for sure.
And
Sure.
The fact that they were both close calls at the end. I mean,
Yeah.
it was green-white checkered for the first one, and then Hamlin was coming.
He was.
Hamlin was coming with a head of steam.
Again. And they even they flipped the grid the second race and
Didn't matter.
did not matter at all.
Didn't matter. Helped Clint Boyer a little bit,
Yeah.
but not enough to get out of our doghouse.
Not even close from leaving the
Woof, woof.
doghouse.
Yep,
Not even close.
Threw another thing of kibble in there.
Just threw him a bone.
We take a cup, scoop it in there, and then we just throw it at the
throw it at
the
him.
kennel. Yeah.
Throw it at him.
Yeah, like a dog.
No, seriously, Harvick. You said what he had, like 50 playoff points now,
Yep, he's at 50.
with the 25 for the
Yep, for the
series championship,
yep.
regular season championship.
Second is Hamlin, who has 37. But Hamlin's also like 140 points behind in the regular season standings.
Right.
So Hamlin won't catch him for that.
No.
Actually, I know Brad was second in the chase grid. I don't know if he still is because he got in a wreck that second race.
I don't think he is. No.
But Brad would still be way behind.
Oh yeah, there's no way.
This whole pandemic and the no practicing, it's really shown not only who the good drivers are, but really who the good teams are. That Stuart Haas number 4 team has got their shit together more than anyone else.
And that it's not so much, oh, we got a fast car. A lot of it is having the right combination of car setup for driving style. Because you might be thinking, well, Clint Boyer is in the same equipment, and he's not winning races. Well, Kevin Harvick's setup might not work for Clint Boyer, and Clint Boyer might say this is awful. Kevin Harvick might say this is perfect. So now it then comes down to you have to set the car up for Clint Boyer, and then set the car up for Kevin Harvick, and that just really shows that they know what Kevin Harvick wants and how to put it all together for him to go out and race.
Also, the benefit of being there since 2014, I believe, was his first year. It was either 2014 or 2013, but he's been there forever. Same thing with Hamlin. Hamlin's never not been in the 11.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Had a lot of consistency with that team, and it's showing.
Oh, for sure. I fully agree. And I think that's where a lot of Jimmy's struggles were, is that when they switched the Chevy body style, I just don't think that they got the setup right for what Jimmy wanted.
Yes.
And I think that goes for a lot of the Camaros. That the whole, they said, well, they're lacking in speed, and I think the first year they were way behind. But the last 2 years, even this year, they have more speed. I just think they just can't figure out what each driver wants in their car. Partially. Especially hard now when there's no practice.
Yeah.
They switch body styles, and then you got to go out there and, figure it out, because
Yep.
I don't know what to tell you.
And I know that we're talking about how good Stuart Haas's team is right now, and how obviously the teams are a big part of it, but also a little bit legacy-wise with Kevin Harvick. He's been so dominant this year, but really ever since he's hopped in that number 4, he's one of, I'd say, the 4 best drivers in the sport.
For sure.
For the past 6-7 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's consistently, I think we don't give him enough credit for all of his success in the 29, because the more that I'm thinking about it with Richard Childress Racing, that was not a very good team. Like, we kind of thought of him as like better than Greg Biffle, but like not on the same level as like those top drivers. Yeah. But RCR, I think Jeff Burton got like 3 wins
Yeah.
his entire RCR tender.
I think especially when Kevin Harvick left RCR, that basically once they started feeding Silverspoon,
Yes.
it just went downhill.
Yes. And
Once
Clint-
they started just giving him mouthfuls of the silver spoon, everything just went downhill. Because Austin Dillon has done nothing for that organization.
Yes. And Clint Boyer was kind of the last decent driver, and he was granted the number 2 driver there, but he got 4, maybe 5 wins
Maybe.
there. They've won 4 races since Kevin Harvick left. 4 flat. Austin Dillon started running in Harvick's team in his spot, and they've won 4 races. Now, granted, one was a Daytona 500. Ugh. One was
Coke 600, which
Coke
was gas
600.
mileage.
Just fucking breaking
And the
my
other one
heart.
was-
That's my favorite race. And then that bullshit fucking Texas win. And Ryan Newman was able to get one. But Ryan Newman,
That's right.
he doesn't
Was that-
win consistently, but he got.
Was that when
a
he was in the
Brickyard.
39?
Nope. 39 was when he was with
That
Stuart
was with
Haas.
Stuart Haas. When did you win the Brickyard?
He won the
What year was
Brickyard
that?
in the 31.
31.
I think it might have been 2017.
No,
I believe it was.
wasn't
It was his only
2017.
win with.
He
no,
did
it
not
wasn't.
win. He would not win Indy
2016.
in 20. He did not. I don't think Ryan Newman.
Look up the Brickyard.
Ryan
400.
Newman?
Yes, Ryan Newman. It was his only win in the 31.
No, he won. Did he
Wasn't
win
it Brickyard?
Phoenix? No, he won
No,
at Phoenix.
I'm pretty sure that he won Brickyard.
No.
I think you're wrong,
I
sir.
know 100% he did not win the Brickyard 400.
Oh, you are.
I'm 100% going to prove you wrong here.
We're both looking it up right now.
I know,
We're
because
both
I
competing.
know I'm right. It was Phoenix Motor Speedway. He won that race. It was one of the.
think so.
I 100% sure.
I don't
Yeah,
believe so.
no, I know I'm right. It's all right. You can admit you're wrong.
I mean,
just tell me. Phoenix 2017, 4th race of the year. That's all right. You can tell me I'm right.
Motherfucker.
It's all right.
God damn it.
Just tell me.
I got my years screwed up. He won the 2013.
It's all right. Just
Hate
tell me.
myself. God damn it. That was his last win in the 39, I think.
One of 2, 4 wins in the 39. He didn't win a lot in the 49.
Basically, I
He won
think
a
that he
Martinsville
won.
race,
I
a
think he
Phoenix
won
race.
once a year.
Yeah.
He's one of those drivers where he got his
Even though
one
he won that
win.
one. Yeah. I actually didn't even know he won the Brickyard 400. Well,
But
I
yeah,
don't know.
just in
I don't know.
general, I'm wondering what could have been if he was in a better team earlier in his career. Because the more that I think about it, the more
he was
RCR is just.
He was with Penske. Wait, are we talking about Ryan Newman yet?
No, I'm talking.
Oh, we're talking about
I
Kevin
went
Harvick.
back to Kevin Harvick.
Oh, we're talking about Kevin
yes.
Harvick. Oh. I would have to agree with you on that. I think him switching to Stuart Haas was the best career decision Kevin Harvick could have made.
And now he's just stacking all he can. I mean,
yeah, baby.
Look at Jimmy Johnson. He's the best modern driver ever, at least. He's 43, 44, maybe even 45, and he's packing
45.
in. He's retiring at the
He's
end of
calling.
it. He's done.
But
he hasn't
not-
won since 2017.
Kevin Harvick.
He's
like, let's fucking gas pedal, baby.
I got a new nickname for him. I mean, they have Happy Harvick. They have the closer, Vino 4. They called Kobe Bryant Vino 24 for a while because he was aging like fine wine before his Achilles. But Kevin Harvick is just late in his career.
Best that he could be right now.
In
He's at his prime.
In a
and
prime,
he's
is it like
the
a
oldest
second
he's been.
prime? I mean, he was pretty
I
good
don't
in
think
the
I
29.
want. I don't think I want to say
He's
second prime.
pretty good in 2013 or 14
14
whenever he
when he
got
won
that
his
championship. But God, I watch him week in and week out, and if he's not winning, he's close. And if he's not winning, something happened that caused him not to win.
The last 3 seasons, especially, I've just been unbelievable lights out.
It's
He shows up.
him, Truex, Kyle Busch, and probably Denny Hamlin for me.
Yeah, no, I could agree with that. That's a good list.
And
Now, here's something. It's Kevin Harvick, first ballot Hall of Famer.
without a doubt, top 10 all time in wins. Who's been better this late in the? Who's been a better driver this late in their career? I mean, Mark Martin had that number 5 season. Was it number 5?
Yeah, but
where he finished second.
It wasn't
But
great.
that hasn't. Yeah, I mean it was second place.
Yeah,
It was runner up, but week in and week out, if it's not Harvick, it's Hamlin, and You can't beat him. You can't beat him.
So
Basically,
you're saying,
he just runs out of laps. He
Yes.
never loses. He just runs out of laps.
So you're saying first ballot Hall of Famer?
Without a doubt.
For sure.
All right, so earlier when we were doing a different pod,
Yeah.
I talked about how there's 5 tiers for me of
Yeah,
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famers.
Number 5, the all-time mountaintop, the Jimmies, Richard Petty, Dale Sr. Then there's like tier 4, and I'd put like Jeff Gordon in there.
Yeah.
I think Jeff Gordon is like the quintessential tier 4, although I'm getting a little off topic. But if Jeff Gordon was under the same point system his entire career, before the chase, and now obviously we have the playoff, which is just a different kind of chase, he would have had 7. He would have tied Dale, Jimmy, and Richard Petty. So really, he's like the line for me.
Yeah.
And Cale Yarborough would be another.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because he won
4, and then number 3, you've got like I'd put
your Kyle Busch would be in there.
Kyle Busch is there right now. Rusty Wallace
For sure.
Rusty Wallace.
I think your Tony Stewart is flirting the line right there.
Tony Stewart
He's
is
flirting
like
the line
as good as a tier 3 can be. Like
I agree,
Jeff Gordon is
I don't
as
know,
good as a tier 4 can be.
And I don't know, would I push Tony Stewart up to that tier 4 or keep him at tier 3?
Could.
He's right on the line. That's a debatable topic.
Mark Martin and Junior Johnson, I would put like the all-time greats that never won a championship.
Yeah.
Also, where Denny Hamlin, if Denny doesn't end up getting one, probably lands. Tier 2 is your like kind of Bobby Labonte's, your Terry Labonte's.
I think you're in terms of tiers, in terms of career accomplishments, like just stats. That's where you would put a Dale Jr. Tier 2. But in terms of overall influence on the sport...
No. So Dale Jr. is a Tier 1 Hall of Famer for me.
Yes.
But his sheer... He was the sport. Even though he did not have the success...
He did not have the on-track success.
Yeah.
However, he
track,
had the biggest off-track influence on the sport that any driver has had since his dad.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
Because
he had Tier 4 and Tier 5, like,
he had
outside interest, but more. But more. He's the face of the sport.
He was for like 17 years.
He's almost bigger in the sport.
Almost. Pretty close.
But yeah, so, like, the Labontes are kind of the perfect example of a Tier 2, and then, like, Tier 1 is kind of... that's where, like, you could put a Ron Hornaday Jr. Because he was a legend in the trucks.
Yep.
And Jack Ingram for
I
the
think
Busch series.
that would eventually end up being a Matt Crafton.
Sam Ayer.
Would be in that
Matt
tier.
Crafton, I think, ends up there.
He'd be a good Tier 1.
Matt
but with the
Crafton
way
will
they
end up
shifted and changed their Hall of Fame on how they have, like, the modern era, and they switch kind of the areas you pick from, which I like that NASCAR did that. I thought...
And they have those kind of modified series, too.
Yeah, and
like
I thought it was kind of overkill when they had 5 every year. I think now it's technically 4.
I think that they were trying to pack it because, like, it was brand new. Like, it opened up in, like, 2010.
Yeah, I think they were, and
so
I think now
they're
kind of like...
3 a year.
Well, it's 3 for... Was it 3 modern era? No.
So, no, they had 3 overall. They had
Dale
Dale
overall,
Jr.
Yeah,
and they had 2...
They have the modern
Red
era...
Farmer and someone else.
They pick from the 3 categories, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that's the way it should be because, I mean, like...
I agree. And
20 of these drivers 5 years from now are still going to be in the sport.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Like, there's driver turnover, but also, like, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is going to be in the sport for, like, 15 years.
Yeah,
in some
he
capacity.
will be for a while.
There's only 40 cars a year, and like, the drivers... Yeah.
No, I agree. I don't think that they should have that many now, going forward.
Yeah, and they'll slow down. And then my Tier 1, just to get it out of the way, I put the Biff in there.
In Tier 1?
Yes.
Hot take, I generally don't know if I think the Biff should be in
Here's the Biff's case, and we'll do a driver profile one day of Greg Biffle, because, like, the man comes up every week. The man
Somehow,
comes up,
we still need that. We
the man
need
comes
that
up
Biffle
more
diecast.
We were on the search for that, but we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that.
But, like, Biffle, there's a triple crown that everybody's
Mhm.
after in the sport, and that's truck, Xfinity, and Cup. And the Biff got the truck, got the Xfinity when it was Busch, and he finished second. He tied, I believe it was Carl Edwards for second one year. He definitely got a second place finish
I don't
in
honestly
the Cup.
know what year
It was
that
kind of
would have
earlier in his
been.
career. It was when Roush was like at their height. I think it might have been like 2005.
They had to have been
Yeah.
because that was right, like peak
Yes.
Roush right
Yes.
there, and then Roush.
He had a good
Roush dropped
career.
off.
He won around that Bobby Labonte, Terry
Yep.
Labonte amount of races. He was relevant for almost all of his career. And I mean, hey, when you're talking about the story of Roush Racing, it kind of ends with the Biff. Cause
The Biff and Carl Edwards.
Yes.
Carl Edwards
Well,
and the Biff, I think, were
yes,
the face
Carl
of
Edwards
racing.
leaving was
I think that was the
the
end
nail
of
in the
Roush.
coffin,
But
and Biff was like the last of a great team.
Yes.
Yes.
I think the worst decision that Roush has made, and we're getting off topic a little bit here, was when they took Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Yes.
I think that did nothing for the team.
Okay, well,
In my opinion,
I
I
think
think
that-
they had the right intentions
I
of
think
let's
they
get a
stuck-
younger driver and let's put him in there and he can do something. But I think they
sometimes
pan out for that.
sometimes you just whiff on a driver. Ricky was really good in the nationwide.
he was
He
at
was
the
a
time.
legitimately good nationwide driver, and honestly, I
He
think
won.
that
Didn't he win?
yeah, he won two championships. Yes, he was good, and he should have got moved up to the Cup, and he definitely should have got that job. But I think that they held on to him a little too long, and they just doubled down on those drivers, and it's not working out, and it hasn't worked out. And now they've just got patchwork Ryan Newman in there. Like, Ryan Newman,
Yeah, you're right.
and I want to get into this. Now, Ryan Newman is as good as you can get without being a Hall of Famer. Memorable for a lot of reasons. He won the Daytona. He won the Brickyard. Now, I got the year wrong on the Brickyard, but he won the Brickyard. I think that he got a Coke 600 win.
Ooh, I
That I don't know off the top of my
I
head.
don't know
But
that
he
either.
got in some insane crashes even before this year.
did, yeah.
That
that's
will
true.
forever just be played on
That's accurate.
ESPN vignettes of
Yeah.
NASCAR. And he was relevant for a long time, and he was in the sport for a long
Mhm.
time. Anytime
Mhm.
a driver can race in remotely competitive equipment for 20 years,
Yeah. No, yeah. It's
I
pretty
mean,
good.
yeah, he was good, relevant, will
Yep.
be remembered, just not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
As good as you can get. The line.
I
And as sad as it is, Casey Kane is like right on that line too.
Yeah.
Where he's probably not going.
Ryan Newman.
Unless he makes a comeback. Chip, put him in the 42.
No,
Put him in the
he's
42.
done. He's
Yeah,
done. He's not
done.
coming.
Yeah,
He's not coming
he'll just
back.
be running World of Outlaw races.
Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
coming back. Speaking of come back, do you think Kyle Larson will come back?
He has to. He's too good.
I fully agree.
He's too good.
He
Someone's
is-
going to take a chance on him. Honestly, the more I think about it, the more the 48. Allies got to sign off on
I would
it.
love to see that.
But he's a good racer.
Oh, I fully agree.
He's excellent. And I mean, like, he definitely should have got suspended for what he did in
I
that
agree.
racing event.
I agree.
But he's lost an entire season, so I don't think Kyle Larson is like a racist in my heart of hearts either.
No, I don't.
I think he's just he's still only like 27. He's just a dumb 27-year-old kid that like fucked up really bad.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he lost an entire season because of it, and he lost a ride too. So I think he's definitely paid enough.
Oh yeah, I could agree with that.
So
I agree with that.
honestly, I hope that when he does come back too, it's not that big of a deal. Just because he's lost an entire year.
Yeah, and I agree. He is generally, I think, too good of a driver. And I know that recently the results haven't shown it, blah, 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 blah. I still think that he is one of the better drivers.
Yes, one of the best prospects we've had in the 2010s.
I agree.
For drivers.
Yeah. I could agree with that. I think he should have more wins than what is shown.
But also, what if he ended up in a better team, with a better team than Ganassi? Like, Ganassi's kind of like
Their year,
a good mid-major team.
I agree. They're right there. Like, they can get 1 to 2 wins a year, and that's a good year for them.
Typical year, I'd say. 1, 2.
Yeah.
If they were to get 3, that would be like an amazing year. 3 or more.
Well, 2017 when Kyle Larson won 4 races that year.
Yeah, that was
a good year for them.
That was an excellent year.
Because the one wasn't doing anything until Kurt Busch got in it. Because Jamie
McMurray he would come around for the big races. It felt like
he'd be around for the 500 and the Indy 400. I swear, every time. But then after that, other than that, he just was.
It was almost like he picks his spots to really shine.
Yeah, I could agree with that. And I think if somehow, I'm a firm believer in this, this year, if Kyle Larson was still racing, he would have won the Homestead race.
Probably.
And I think
Tyler Reddick is really good at that race.
Yeah, and I
from
also
what we've
think
seen in the Xfinity, and he got a top 5. That was his first career top 5.
I also think that if Larson got to the championship 4 in those years he was racing, he would have won.
Yep.
That race.
Yep.
For sure.
Kind of like Harvick this year at Phoenix, where he's just coming in and unless you're picking against somebody, you would take him in a heartbeat because it's his track.
Yeah, it's his bread and frickin' butter right there.
Yeah,
it's
Ryan Blaney right now at Talladega, or really Brad Keselowski at Talladega too. It's
Penske.
It's a Penske, yeah.
It's a Penske track, really. Penske should buy that track too, Christ, for the rate they're going.
They might. They might.
Yeah, who knows? They have a lot of money. They can do whatever they want. All right. Our Road America experience, Dylan.
Ooh. It was a good time.
I gotta say that was another great race.
Yes.
Great racing all around. I had no idea it was gonna rain, by the way.
Yes.
Kind of threw a little, one would say a little kink in it.
Mm-hmm.
Little play on words there, if you know what I mean.
The rain was fine. I was willing to sit through the rain. It was the lightning delay.
The lightning delay that really killed us. Yeah.
Especially because we had a first-time NASCAR, experience with us and Sam.
Yes.
That stunk that we had to go to the truck.
Yep.
Although I got a nice little buzz in the truck, so I mean,
that makes it a little worse.
It wasn't the worst. But yeah. And then the only other criticism that I have of that race is the cautions would come out at the end of the first 2 stages.
Yeah.
And the track is so big.
That's the one thing I fully agree that
it
still upsets me, and NASCAR did on a few occasions really give it as long as they could until they're like, okay, we gotta throw it. It's a long track, so we'll give them, a good 30 seconds.
Who was it? That 78? I forget who's in it. His car kept fucking dying.
Stalling, and they're and they made it on the whole lap, and they're like, okay, we're gonna wait till the last second to throw it because
Buick doesn't die that much.
You're right. But this is where I wish NASCAR wouldn't count the stage cautions as laps.
Yes.
This is where I want it to be. Stage comes out, I throw the caution, cool, but don't count the laps until they go back to green. Especially on this long of a track, because it's only 45 laps. Well, caution comes out, depending where you are in the track, it's at least 2 laps.
And it's a 4-mile track.
Yeah, and the fucking cautions take 5 minutes. 5-10 minutes until you're back racing. Which I agree.
Also, number 43, we were sitting by turn 4 on that hill, and my God, Turn 5. Sorry.
5, yeah.
He could not make that turn for the life of him.
Was it 43? I thought it was.
Or no, it was
93.
93.
I don't even remember who that was.
Yeah, I don't think he had a lot of sponsorship on his car either.
Hold on,
but
look.
my god!
Every time.
Matt Snyder, off the top of my head, that's the name that's popping up.
No, and the 13, fucking 13.
13. Well,
who was that? First career race. And it was every time he was always he was last, right?
Yep.
And we would watch all the cars go by, and then Sam would be like, give it 10 seconds, and there's a 13. There's a 13.
Yep.
And every lap, we'd be like, all right, he a little bit better. Yep. And then he'd go, and then the next one, he'd take it really wide, and we're like, okay, not better.
Mm-hmm.
The next one, he'd come, he'd take it a little sharper.
Yeah.
A little better. You're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
He was like the guy who joined the cross-country team just to jog, just to get a little exercise. You know, he's not trying to win. He's just trying to, go through the motions, do everything,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it was a good race, and we didn't know the dinger.
God, I didn't even think he was racing.
The dinger was running. We should have knew. We should have known. It was a road course. It was the dinger's ace in the hole, and he was. We were watching the board as they were going through the rows because they had the TV broadcast on, and all of a sudden the dinger pops up at the end, and we're like, oh, this is going to be interesting.
Oh, I didn't even think he was racing.
And then we just watched him slice through that
just
field.
Just freaking slice and dice his way through the field.
And it just felt like he was passing somebody every time they went through our turn.
I remember we were sitting there, we were watching a race, and he'd pass somebody, and I'd look at Dylan, and one, it's louder than shit, so I can't even talk to him. We're sitting right next to each other. So I'm sitting there, and I'm kind of doing, the fingers up, 4, and, pointing, you see, he's up there. And they don't always show him passing. But I watched him on the ticker. He's gaining on him. Look, there was one lap he gained, a whole, second on Austin Central. Oh, my God, he's just freaking railing.
What, end of stage 2, he was, second or something? Or no, he won stage 2. He won stage 2.
And then we were tracking him on the third stage, oh, he's moving up, and he ended up finishing second.
My pick was Cedric, and I was getting real scared at the end of stage 2 when he won that stage.
It was Cedric or Briscoe, and we were both right, because we didn't even think the dinger was in the freaking race.
Kept coming back.
Yeah, he finished third.
Oh my God! I mean, he seemed quiet. He was always kind of up there, but he just seemed quiet. But he had a chance at the end. But Cedric got it done. That was awesome. I've kind of become a Cedric fan, especially
I have two.
Now I can be more open about it because I know that at least for another year, he's not going to take Brad's spot.
You're right. And you know what? Speaking of Cedric, I was listening this week. He was talking about his future, and it kind of, I'm going to be honest, unless Penske expands to a 4-car team, it's kind of sounding like Cedric he was giving the signals that he's looking at other options. He's thankful for what Penske has done, and he wants to stay with Penske, but he was kind of saying, I'm looking at all my options right now, and I'm kind of you know what? Clint Boyer might be on his way out, buddy.
Well, here's my thing, though. Chase Briscoe is a Stewart-Haas development driver. So I think that they would kind of give the 14 to him beforehand.
Well, I agree, but you know what? Here's the thing. Who really knows?
But if I'm Jack Roush right now, I'm dropping fucking Ryan Newman or Chris Buescher.
Oh, I'm picking one of those two up,
and I'm
baby.
going to tell him, Ryan Newman's just running laps. Ryan Newman's just running laps.
You want to be in here? Come on in, buddy. The door's wide open. Let's talk
all the attention. A Roush sense. That's
what they need.
Jack Roush.
That's what they need. They do. They do. They need to freaking hit the reset button.
They need to sell the farm for just a guy. They just need to take a fucking chance on somebody. I know that Eric Jones definitely isn't coming back to a Toyota.
Oh, there's no way he's not.
Yeah,
he's going blue over a bow tie.
Because Toyota Racing Development, literally, their president said, yeah, well, it's just time to end it.
That's it.
Gibbs and Toyota released statements on him.
Done.
And, he's a perfect buy low,
there is
high reward option.
I agree. I think I would hedge my bet on Eric Jones.
I think I got you
I
on
would,
that
too.
one.
Because, think of this, like you said, I believe you said Joey Logano was at Joe Gibbs.
Yes.
And he had worse stats than Eric Jones
Every-
has. And
Yes.
look at Joey Logano. Multiple wins, a champion.
A lot of times with Gibbs, too, and it's not just Gibbs. There's a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm.
There, when you have a 4-car team,
Yep.
a car will fall off. Obviously, it wasn't a 4-car team when Bobby Labonte was with Gibbs, but
Like, you got Clint Boyer with Stuart
Yeah.
Haas. I mean, he's just kind of there right
Bobby the last couple of years started falling off. Logano fell off. The final nail in the coffin was Hamlin.
Casey Kane was kind of, when Casey Kane was running with Hendrick, the kind of...
Oh, that's...
He's there.
Yes.
He's just running the laps. He's really not winning racing.
He picked his spots to win. Like, I knew weeks where, like, okay, this is time where I turn up my Casey Kane fandom. Like, when he had to win Brickyard one year to get into the chase, and he always had Charlotte. He was always good at Charlotte. And he ran fairly well at, like, Atlanta.
Yeah.
There were certain spots in a year where you could pick Casey.
Yeah.
But also he would just go away for 5 weeks straight.
Yeah, that's just like Clint Boyer. That's just like what Eric Jones was.
Clint Boyer is like the definition of he's kind of the fourth guy.
He is.
Right now. He's just
there.
He's just gradually
laps.
losing his spot, his footing. He knows that he's basically out after the year.
Yeah.
It's tough life for Boyer. Get in the Xfinity booth. Make something.
I'd be.
You'll go to the Hall of Fame as an announcer.
As an announcer, oh, for sure.
Fucking awesome. In the booth. In the booth, not on the track. In the booth.
Yeah, in the booth. I agree. He'd be great in the booth. But anyway, so I think there's so many options out there right now between Bubba Wallace, Eric Jones. If one of the Xfinity guys can move up, Briscoe, Cendric, I would honestly even throw Ross Chastain and even maybe Justin Haley into the mix of saying, hey, they're fucking out there. You know,
definitely could.
You could take them. I mean, you want to take a risk on them. I don't think I would take a risk on Ross Chastain. I think if Ross Chastain, I don't know if he would be like that great in the Cup, but I think Ross Chastain would be a great Xfinity lifer.
Yes. But also,
Give him
you almost have to go to the Cup to burn out.
That's a good point. You gotta at least, and he could surprise us. He could come out to Cup and just freaking win a bunch of races.
And Alex Bowman. Now, granted, Alex Bowman doesn't have all the skins on the wall yet, but Alex Bowman has been way more impressive in the Cup than he has been in the Xfinity.
That's true.
I mean, hell, the greatest driver ever, Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But
the thing that I'm saying is
real
that
basic and Nick Bush.
Oh yeah. Oh, he was not good at all.
Super milquetoast.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't run the Xfinity.
Fucking.
I also think that's part of why. Not why he's good, but I think that's part of why he's better than Kyle Busch in the fact that he doesn't need to run all these Xfinity and truck races to feel satisfied. He's like, I can fucking go out and just run Cup races.
The one time you take away practice, and he's now limited anyway in the Xfinity and the truck.
Yeah.
Like, Kyle Busch, points-wise, has been doing
fine,
fairly good.
Fairly good, yeah.
But, like, he's not winning these races.
Yeah. Oh,
he's not even, like, winning... He's not even winning stages. I mean, he's got one stage win that he got like a couple weeks ago, but like that's it. Like he's not. Mm-hmm. He's struggling mightily.
He is. He really is. I could fully agree with that. And now with the Daytona Road Course coming up, who knows what the hell is going to happen this week?
And
who knows what's going? Let's talk about that for a second. So, real quick before we dive into that, NASCAR changed their formula for how they start races instead of the quote-unquote random draw, which I think was honestly rigged.
Probably.
It's now 50% of the fastest lap from the previous race, 35% of the current owner's points, and 50% of the previous race finish. So considering that Kevin Harvick had the fastest lap, I don't know if he had the fastest lap, but he's number one in owner's points and had the best previous race finish. It's a shoo-in that he's going to start from the pole.
Without a doubt.
But it's really helped a lot of other teams in terms of I'm going to say Jimmy Johnson because you just know I know everything fucking about him. He's starting 11th now, and instead of starting 20th for like 5th week or whatever, I think last week it was 17th. But the point is, instead of starting like 20th, he's now 11th, which helps tremendously.
Yes.
But what I will say is, I don't think I'd want to be on the front row for the first lap.
No.
There's 100, let me say this, not 100% chance, but over-under on the third lap. Will there be a caution before it or after it?
There's honestly be a caution on the second lap.
I think there'll be a caution on the fucking first turn.
Oh,
I seriously
Ricky
think
Stenhouse Jr. is in that race.
yeah. I honestly think they're just gonna send her in there and just.
Yep.
I mean, you can only do so much. I mean, iRacing can only give you so much experience.
Yeah.
It gives you. I'll say it definitely helps.
Yes.
And I'm sure a lot of them are on the rig.
Will not completely transfer to real
It won't.
life.
It won't. But I think there'll be that one car that'll just freaking full send her and just freaking crash half the field. Just freaking giving her and then there you go. Just like the Roval 2018.
Put him in last.
Roval 2018. I think it'll be the same thing. Freaking Brad, Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, fucking everybody just freaking sends her right into heartburn turn. And it's just like, oh my gosh. I have a feeling that's what it's going to be. And if not, I feel like they'll come into the chicane, the backstretch chicane, and then there'll be like a handful of people that'll miss it. And then they'll come into the next chicane, and then a handful of people will miss it. And then it'll just be a complete, absolute shit show.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I for sure think that I like that there's no practice because I think it's going to be super exciting to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be just...
But I almost wish there was
wonderful.
practice because I don't want it to be that much of a shit show. Yes. I want it to be a shit show, but not that much of a shit show. Because then I feel like it just speaks for the sport of like, oh, these guys don't know what the hell they're doing. You know, and I mean, they kind of don't because Kyle Busch is the only one with any road course experience there in the last like year. See, and the point I was wondering is that could the Cup guys run the Xfinity race?
If I'm them,
because
I am hopping in that car.
Because if I'm
Kyle Busch, I'm not letting any of those motherfuckers in that car.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Truck.
Or anything, because I'm thinking if I'm a Cup driver, I would be thinking, and I know a lot of this is contract. They already got it figured out, but I'd be like, dude, can I pay to get in this seat so I can get some track experience? Because any track time, whether it's Cup or if it's truck, Xfinity, I don't care. Anything is going to help.
Brad Keselowski's sitting there just on his knees to Roger Penske, let me go in the 12 in the Xfinity.
Yeah, field me another car. I'll pay for the sponsorship. I mean, honestly, I would.
Just like the video games, just put Brad K on the hood.
Yeah, because they can't put Miller Lite. They can't put Miller Lite on it.
Brad K. Rusty Wallet. I have a NASCAR 2001 game for a PlayStation 1.
Oh my god, that's old.
Whenever I would pick Rusty, I know, right? It would have Rusty on it. It would say Rusty.
That's hilarious.
I'm like, the blue deuce. The Rusty deuce.
So, what are your honest expectations for this road course race?
So basically, going into this, I thought there's going to be a lot of cautions.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of cautions. There's going to be a lot of weird, differences in laps.
I agree.
Everybody's going to know how to run it.
Yeah, and I think going in the first lap, I mean, I think there's going to be some drivers that are like, all right, this is my time to go. I got to give her now or I'm not making up any time. And then I feel like there'll be some drivers that are like, we'll pump the brakes here.
Yeah, I'm just going to
coast it. I'm going to kind of coast her the first few laps. There'll probably be a competition caution. It's a long track.
There's got to be.
Oh, there will be. Yeah. More of like I'll just coast it. There'll be a competition caution. I'll get my feet wet. I'll know where I'm at. I'll hit the reset button, and then I'll go out there. Because I think that's how I would play it. I'd play it and say, I could lose 4 seconds a lap, and I'm not going to get lapped. Because it's a big track.
Yes.
It'll probably take them a good second.
I'd take the first half and just get comfortable.
I would. It'll probably take them a good 2 minutes to get around that for one lap.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'd be thinking, there's no way I can get lapped. I don't care if I lose a bunch of spots. Just take my time. Just kind of every corner, just kind of figure out where I need to be, where my braking zone is, how's my handling, how's my grip level, where are my better places to pass. Just the first kind of stage, and at least to the competition caution of just just gonna figure this place out a little bit. And I think that's most drivers, unless you're Kevin Harvick and you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna go.
Yes.
I got nothing. And if you're Kevin Harvick, what do you got to lose?
Exactly.
You're way ahead in owners in points. Like you
Yeah,
got like
he's
3
not gonna
laps.
lose.
He's not gonna lose. I mean, just go out and give her. If you crash, you crash. I mean, it sucks in terms of, you want to do well for your sponsors and everything, and I get it. It's a business still, and you want to help your sponsors out, and you want to show and represent your team well and everything. You want to carry your momentum to this playoffs, but at the same time, I'd say, frickin', I don't care. I got 6 wins. I'm going to go try to get this thing.
Exactly.
I'm going to push my car to the limit, and if I push my car to the limit and crash, whatever. But if not, I learn, and I can then use that knowledge to win the race.
Mm-hmm. And going into it, I thought the 2 drivers to beat are going to be Kyle Busch, because he's ran it before, and he is a good road course driver, and Martin Truex Jr., just because I know that he is a pretty good
Kyle Busch is honestly
road course driver.
Kyle Busch would be my pick.
Yes,
to win
and
the
I was
race.
going into that thinking both of them, but then I found out Harvick's on the pole. Harvick, the respect level I've gotten for that guy,
He's like,
even before this year.
Him.
But now, especially this year, I mean, Jesus Christ, Denny Hamlin had the win title.
Yeah.
Going into this. He had it last week.
And
now he just doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah, gone.
And now Harvick's on the pole for this race that no one's ever ran, and he's going to be able to start in the front row of this race that no one's ever ran.
Well, yeah.
I picture, if you ever want the pole for a race, it's going to be this race.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't even know if we're doing picks right now, but I'm picking Harvick.
I'm picking Kyle Busch then.
You're taking Kyle Busch?
If you're leaving him on the table, I'm taking Kyle Busch.
Yep. I am padding it with Joe Gibbs for my team, and then I'm going to go Ford for my team. For my manufacturer.
Yeah.
But I just feel like Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. are really good, I might as well hedge my bets.
I'll go Toyota, Kyle Busch, and team. I'll go I'll go Hendrick.
Ooh, I mean, hey, Chase Elliott's he's fairly good.
And you want to know what? Here's a sleeper pick. Ryan Blaney is a sleeper pick. He has done like 3 of the last 4, maybe 3 of the last 5 races, top 5 finish. Won the Roval 2018. Granted, that was because Martin Truex Jr. and Jimmy Johnson crashed, but whatever. I still think he's kind of a low-key sleeper pick. If he's my, kind of the 6th round of fantasy draft or whatever, he's my sleeper pick.
He's the guy who's got a little boomer bust.
Yeah, he's the guy that you aren't, Ryan Blaney's going to win. He's the guy that, like, he could pull an Eric Jones and just surprise you on a win here. Just pull one out of the hat.
Yeah. He's the guy where he's kind of like, if we're talking fantasy draft, he's a running back who's part of a running back by committee, but he's the goal line guy. He's a touchdown guy.
He's the touchdown guy. I could agree with that. You won 3rd and goal. You need a TD.
3rd and goal.
2-yard line.
2 yard. Yeah.
You put in Ryan Blaney. You get the job done.
Yeah. He's going to move that line.
He will. Yeah.
2 yards.
Yep. I could agree with that.
Fucking John Kuhn. Little Green Bay Packer reference.
Coon.
Everybody thought that we were booing him, but we were just...
We were cooning him. We were cooning him.
Coon.
That's what I got. That's my picks.
Yep.
I think somebody else. Fuck, I can't speak. Who could have a kind of low key, little sneaky day. I have, for some reason, but I guarantee I'm probably gonna be wrong here. But I got that gut feeling that you put everybody on equal playing field. Matt Kenseth is gonna shine. Matt Kenseth is gonna shine.
See, now,
I don't know why.
If there's a spot for Kenseth this season to get that win, just to steal that win and find himself in the chase, and just get Jimmy, finally get Jimmy. It's right now.
If Jimmy,
because
I don't have a lot of faith Jimmy's gonna win a race. Listen, I need him to for like closure for myself of like, okay, it's been fulfilled. I can rejoice one last time, give a good little cry out, log back on Twitter and retweet a bunch of shit. Just kind of get that out of my system one last time.
All of a sudden, you're posting on Facebook a lot again.
I probably would.
Yeah.
One last time, besides his last race, because I know there'll be a lot of videos and stuff that comes out, and I'll probably
it'll
post
be a
that.
tour. It'll be like a retirement tour for him. But
then I'll be fulfilled. I will be. You know what? It's been a good. I think I'd say 17 years for me and him. Yeah. It's been a good 17 years. I hope to see you, and I will watch now IndyCar if you go race. I will probably just watch that exclusively. Not exclusively. I'll still watch NASCAR. But the point being that I will pick up watching IndyCar every week if Jimmy's racing.
I feel like Tom Brady's last years now with the Bucks are going to kind of be like Jimmy these last couple of years. Like every once in a while, he's going to have a moment where he's going to kind of shine, and it's going to be a little bit of that Jimmy.
Yeah.
But overall, his elbow's bad.
Yeah.
He was never mobile in the first place. The Bucks are they're going to...
Gronkowski came out of retirement.
Rob Gronkowski, yes, he's a great tight end. He always was. He's the greatest tight end ever. But what separated him from a guy like Jimmy Graham was he could block. He was a menace blocking. But he lost 70 pounds. He's not as big as he was, and now he's got a couple of months to get all that back.
Pretty sure he lost even more brain cells.
And he's always been injured. Well, he's got CBD now. Remember?
Okay.
He's got CBD.
Yeah, all right,
big
sure.
time. I follow him on Instagram. But anyway, so he's got to bulk up again. He's always kind of been injured. He was running on fumes the last 2 years, and he's Tom Brady's main sport guy, which we're getting real off topic now. But I don't think it's going to end well for Jimmy, and I don't think it's going to end well for Tom Brady.
I hate to say it, but I have to agree. It
won't affect their legacies when you look back 50 years from now. This won't matter. This is Joe Namath with the Rams, with the Los Angeles Rams, where he has to tape his knees up for 2 hours before game time. But right now, Jimmy, he's outside the chase. He's got to have a decent race, and William Byron has to crash out of a race, or he just has to gradually pick away at William Byron. But
Byron has to crash, and DiBenedetto,
and he's in a dead tie with Eric Jones, and Eric Jones.
I don't foresee Eric Jones doing well at the road course.
Yes,
he could probably pick something up at Dover or Daytona, but I don't foresee him really.
He could win
anything.
Daytona.
Oh,
he almost got Talladega, right?
He won 2017.
Yeah.
2018. I'm sorry, 2018 Coke 400.
2018. Yep.
That's an even bigger wild card.
Yes.
Race. God, who even knows?
I'm worried for your sanity, Matt. But it does sound like you're finally beginning to come to terms with it. I haven't heard you say once, "Well, it's just gonna win Dover." Who's gonna care?
He's not gonna win Dover.
But
he's not as dominant in Dover as since they switched to the new body style in the Camaro. It's just dropped off the map at Dover for Jimmy, in my opinion, which sucks.
But hey, you know
what? But who the hell knows?
Coke 400.
Cole Custer and Austin Dillon won a race this year, and we didn't think either of them were going to win.
Yeah,
who the hell knows what's going to happen?
We just need Tyler Reddick and Ryan Blaney to do something at the end. Tyler Reddick to block and just clog it up for his teammate. That was a business decision.
That was. He knew. He knew. I can't show him up.
He could have passed him at the end.
He could have.
Jeff Burton or Dale Jr., they all kind of were sounding the same at the end of that race. Yeah. But he said that he couldn't believe that Reddick didn't pass him yet.
Reddick was like, you know what? I don't want to show him up the first season. I can't just show him up this soon. I got to at least give Austin Dillon some credit to keep Richard Childress around of oh, it's a great team effort, blah, 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 even though Tyler Reddick has been the difference in that RCR team.
Oh, he is bringing them single-handedly back
to
prominence.
Austin Dillon decided to join, and they just kept giving him the silver spoon of Here you go, buddy. Whatever you want.
Just kept serving up that silver spoon.
They just kept serving it up, baby.
And then we got served some crow with that silver spoon.
We did, and I can just fuck off.
Yes.
So one last topic. Spire Motorsports bought the Levine Family Racing charter and assets of the company. So they announced they will be running a 2-car team next year. So, what are your expectations for that?
Well, I don't really think that they're going to do anything next year. I think that right now they're just waiting for Gen 7 when the chassis are all going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going to be as even because obviously the Penske's.
Yeah, they'll have more aero time,
Gibbs.
more track time.
Yes.
They'll have a lot more resources available to them.
Just the better teams. But it'll be a little more of an even playing field, and they're getting ahead, and they're putting all their attention into the Gen 7s and being competitive, and they're almost just kind of
coasting,
yeah.
right now.
Prepping.
Yes. So now, do you think they would become an affiliate team to anybody, really? Because, I mean, there are a lot of...
I mean, if I'm
different...
them, I'd like to... I heard you, before the show, talk about how Toyota was looking at fielding 6 different cars.
That's correct. Their TRD wants to field 6 cars, fully support 6 cars. They have, obviously, 4 Gibbs cars. They did have the Levine Family Racing 95 and the 96. And I know Timmy Hill and the 66 ran in Toyota, but I don't think they had the full support from TRD that everybody else has. Mm-hmm. Well, the 96 is with Daniel Suarez is just kind of there.
Yeah.
I can't say they do anything. They're just there.
We're just waiting for Suarez to go back to Xfinity.
Yes, because I think Suarez, like you said, he needs to come to the Cup, realize he can't make it, and then be an Xfinity lifer.
You just need to...
Because he could be a great Joe Gibbs Xfinity lifer. Just leave him in there.
Yeah.
Let him just run every...
Back to Gibbs.
Back to Gibbs. Let him run every race.
Yep. I wish Sam Hornish would have been able to run more years in Xfinity, because I think Sam Hornish would have been...
He would have been a Penske lifer.
The ideal.
For sure.
I'm just surprised he hasn't come back yet for a one-off.
That's true.
But yeah.
Anyway, I think... I don't see Spire Motorsports, though, doing that unless TRD just says, okay, well, because they want to be a 2-car team. So unless TRD says, you know, we're going to drop the 96 and we're going to give Spire Motorsports 2 cars. Mm-hmm. Which then I could see them being eventually a, mid-level team.
Yes.
They could become your RCRs and your Chip Ganassi of just they're there. Mm-hmm. They could win a race or 2 a year.
I mean, hell, you never know. They could hit on a couple of drivers and some good crew chiefs, and they could build themselves into...
Yep.
a premier team. But if I'm them, do I really want to align with Gibbs?
No.
Because
Levine Family Racing went out of business and Front Row Motorsports
now
went out of
Levine,
business.
a little bit of it was COVID, but also they already killed Front Row Motorsports, who
won a championship and were winning a lot of races. So by
he
definition,
finished second or third the season after he won the championship, and then they got shut down.
My thought is, they got plenty of money.
They lost one sponsor, and they were out.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell? Joe Gibbs, you just fucking gouging them for money here, or what?
And then he took Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah.
Then he took...
part of me kind of...
One of the 4 best drivers in the sport.
So part of me kind of wonders... Here's a theory. Kind of out there. Did Gibbs... I don't want to say squash them. I don't know how I want to word this. Did Gibbs squeeze resources and money out of these teams so that he could take their drivers? Because he did before. He had Suarez before Front Row went out. He had Suarez, Eric Jones, who was right around new at the time, and Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch. Did he then say, I have 2, Eric Jones is still fresh. Daniel Suarez hasn't done a lot for me. Let's just squeeze everything I can get out of Front Row Motorsports.
That's what he did.
And then steal Martin Truex Jr. I'm going to say steal because really steal him. And Cole Pearn. Cole Pearn now has walked away from the sport. Take them make my team better, and then find another affiliate team.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Levine Family Racing. Well, great. All right, let's run them. Well, we're gonna put Christopher Bell in the 95. Now Joe Gibbs is like, whoa. But I want Christopher Bell because Eric Jones isn't doing a lot for me. Let's just squeeze Levine Family Racing, make them go out, and I'm gonna take Christopher Bell, kick out Eric Jones, and now I'm gonna find another team to support.
This is like an Epstein kind of conspiracy. This is the Epstein.
I mean, it kind of is, but
it's so almost blatant. But like he's just been getting away with it, and like, can you blame him? Can you really blame him?
I can't. I can't blame him at all. I don't know who else Toyota would pick for their other teams right off the top of my head. I know a little research, I could probably figure something out. I guess that's all things to talk about next week.
Yeah.
Well, we got our picks. I'm interested to see where Daytona goes. Really.
Oh, it's gonna be
a great race.
A hell of a topic.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
And I guess we'll go from there. Well, We'll talk to you guys and give you a full recap of the weekend of the road course and see where the playoffs line up.
Yes, remember to rate, subscribe, and tell a friend.
And I'll see you next week.
Yep. Bye guys.